Okay, hello everyone. My name is Mikolai. As a previous, I am developer in EPAM, and I implement mobile application using JavaScript. And today we talk a little bit about TypeScript. Let's start. And the first thing you should to know is that TypeScript is not a separate language. It's a wrapper over JavaScript. In other words, it's extension of JavaScript to help us to add typization to our project. Next, you should ask me which pros of this typization in project. I agree that JavaScript is a pretty simple language, and we no need to waste our time to add types to variables. For example, I can write let a equal 5 and then override a with some string, and it's okay in JavaScript. Yeah, but it's okay only for simple project. Only for project where you know which is stored in all of your variables. In a huge project, which is consist of several modules developed by separated teams, we need to try to keep order as much as possible. We need to strongly understand what comes to our code and strongly provide information to other teams, which data we provide for them. Little example. Let's imagine that you develop a function that will used by another team. Your function takes a callback to something and invokes this callback. And 90% of cases, it will be working well, but in some unexpected case, your colleague make a mistake and sorry, little type, and nothing provided to this function, and immediately your function will be crashed with error because undefined is not an add function. And in this case, TypeScript can help us. I just rename our file to TS, and immediately invocation of function will be underlined with red line, and I will get the error expected 1 argument but got 0. And it's not at all. I can provide some incorrect argument, but if I use typization, I can add some types for my argument, and I get the second error that my argument of type number is not assignable to function type. And it's pretty important to understand this, that TypeScript can help us to prevent errors on developer step, because in case of this example, for example, user can download our application, push the button, and if not the correct callback provided, our application will crash. But if we use TypeScript on development step, we can see that some unexpected happens and prevent it. And second, you should know that TypeScript will be removed from compiled application because we only needed to see errors during our development. Okay. Yeah, but the benefits of this early error prevention has a dark side because now we need because now if we use TypeScript in our project, we need to annotate the type for all variables, functions, and other stuff. And sometimes it's a little bit complex. Okay, so let's continue, and I show you annotation of some simple types. And first of all, this is JavaScript primitives, Boolean string and a number. We need to put column and then write a type. And after that, if I try to override some variable with incorrect type of data, I get the error. Number is not assignable to type Boolean, and same for others, but not for variable C, because C is number. Okay, we have some special types in TypeScript, and for example, any means any. You can put anything to this variable, it's okay. For example, string, no errors. Okay. Another special type is typization of arrays. We have several approaches. First of all, we can write our type and put square braces. For this now, if I want to push some unexpected, for example 5, I get the error. Number is not assignable to string, only strings. Take a look that empty array, it's also a valid value for string array, but this f variable also protected. If I want to push number, it will be prevented. Another way to annotate string array is here. We take interface array and in the triangle braces type put needed type. This annotation and this is the same. Choose what you want. Okay, and last special type annotation for array. If you have custom array with predefined types in each position, you can write square braces and put types depend on index. We can check this. Example, let's push Boolean. Oops, that's a error. Okay. Maybe you have questions for this part. I think it's pretty simple. Oh, it's an interesting question. Experimentally, we define that no, we can push a lot of data and nothing happens. Good question. Maybe push function, maybe TypeScript do not handle if I try to push something via push function, but if I write array literal, it's pretty cool handle this string number. String is not assignable to string number. Yeah, and here a good point to say that TypeScript is grow and some construction do not handle by TypeScript, but in nearest future it will be. I think it will be added to TypeScript because it's grow very well. Ordering, it's very important here, because if I try to change order, but I get the error. Okay, let's continue. My favorite part, because JavaScript allows us to create our own types. For example, we can create string or number type. Oops, mistake. That can be string or number. String okay, number okay, Boolean cause an error. Yeah, Boolean is not assignable to string or number type. Okay, and a lot of combinations here. You can do something like this. We can use this vertical line as OR operator here or here. And we can combine it as you want. For example, oops, sorry. For example, like this. Also, TypeScript have some kind of automatic annotation. If you create variable and put a number in it, TypeScript save this type and think that this variable always be as this first type, and I cannot put a Boolean now in it. Okay, let's see my cheat sheet. Okay, let's continue with functions. It's pretty simple. Function have two places to type. This is input and output of function, and it's pretty simple. Like previous, we need to put column and put type, and also in the end of function, this function take a pass and put pass to our console, and nothing will be returned, because and this type of this function is void. Void is like empty, nothing. Also, we have another special type for functions. For example, if we have some infinite loop inside function, this function never be returned, and TypeScript provides special type never for this type of function. Never while. True. Yeah. This function do not have end. Okay, let's go next. This called function overload. Function can have several types, depend on its arguments. For example, this function can take color, but color it's not mandatory. This question mark means that color be absent, color be undefined, and depend on this property, our function can return void or string, for example. If you see here, it's pretty simple. If color presented, we return color. This is just example. And these two overloads of our check color function. Okay, let's continue with interfaces, but maybe you have questions. Okay. Interface is a complex type that can help us to add type for object or classes, for example. It's some kind of object in types. We can define properties and mark type of these properties. Here we have two special marks. This is a read-only keyword. From this point we cannot override this property, and also question mark. That means this modification is not important in this object. And let's check how it works. I create constant for and put car type to it, and it's looks good. But if I try to put string and speed, I get error. Or maybe after that I want to override model property, and also I should get the error because model is read-only. Okay. Like classes, interfaces can be extended from each other. I can write interface truck special what extends from car, and it means that now truck contain these properties from car and also property weight. Let's test how it works. Okay, for example, I remove property weight, and immediately I get the error because weight is missing in type color, type truck, and also, and same with other properties. Also, we can use interfaces with classes. For example, I create class with echo that special words implements interface truck, and same story like with object. We need to put correct data to properties of our class. Also, we can add, for example, some function. This is a typization of function. It's simple like previous. We need to annotate input of function and output of function. And now you can see that our object caterpillar will drop the error because we need to create this function. Something like this, and also class Iveco dropped the error. Yeah, and very useful feature that you IDE where you work. In my case, this is VS Code. Immediately help me to write code when I write when I update my truck interface. VS Code immediately add this type to my new class. And it's very useful. For example, if I create some new variable, constman, that also have type track. When I open my curly braces and put some letter, you can see that my IDE helped me to fill properties. Also here. It's very useful. Okay, let's continue. Maybe questions? Okay. What is different? So yeah, what is difference between class and interface? It's very interesting question. Really, difference. This class is a real class. Interface. This is type. This is just type. When we use interfaces, we just say which type our class, and when we complete our development and compile application, all types and interfaces will be removed from code, and only classes will be work on user side. Can we have more properties in the instance than with declarative interface? For example, if we had 5 properties of cards allowed, I think no. But yes, yes, we have. It works. But in the end of our lecture, we show you some interesting features related to it. Yeah, if you implement interface, you can add some another properties. Yeah, and if we talk about classes, also TypeScript provides some modifiers for properties, and this is three modifiers, read only. Yeah, read only, private, protected, and protected. These modifiers show regulate access to these properties. For example, if we have properties with read-only modifiers, we cannot override it in our code. If we have private modifier, this variable can be used only in this class. If we have protected variable, we can use this variable only in this class and only in class that extends class available. Okay, and one special interface. For example, we have a huge list of data, and we don't know each key in this list, but all of these keys match some pattern, and we can write this pattern here. In square braces, we write that our key should be a string and our value should be a number. And you can see in this example, we already have an error because one of the values are Boolean. We change it to number, and error disappear. Okay, let's continue. And our next special word is enum. sometimes very frequently programmers needed to use some special strings. For example, brands. We have this strings, but it's not a simple string. This is a special string that cannot be modified in code, and it's a better practice to use in all places in code just string, because you easily can do some mistake, and it's not a good approach. In regular JavaScript, you can create constant and put the string in constant. You use constant in your code, but TypeScript provides for us special type is enum. We can write our special strings and use it like a type. This example, this functions that return colors depends on brands, and he takes property, and type of this property is our brands, and we can use this enum not only as type but also as value. We can define enum in several ways. For example, you see that strange annotation with duplicated brands. Yeah, you can remove this, something like this. But in this case, you can see it here. All of these types will have value as array, just indexes 0, 1, and 2. And sometimes it's not so convenient, and we need to put real names of our, something like this. Okay, questions? Okay, let's continue. Yeah, another my favorite theme is generics. In this example, we can put to function types like a parameter. This function does not know in which type of array, but we can put this type when we call this function. And to get this parameter, we need write after function name triangle braces and put some name of this type. Common approach is use capital T in this case. What does it mean? That means that array property will be type of T. Type of T is type that we pass to function when we call string. Here you see invocation of a function get second element, and when I call it in triangle braces, I put type string, and this type put it here and here, and also in return of our function, it can be type or undefined. Okay, but TypeScript is pretty smart enough. If I pass some array with numbers, you can see here. Just move your mouse over function name, and you see here that number automatically replace T here and here. But if we have empty array, TypeScript doesn't know which type of data will be in this array. And type is any. And in this case, I need to manually put correct type. Okay, questions? Okay. Generics, it's a very useful feature and help you to create very complex types. You see it a little bit later. Okay, and last point about typization. This is special generic provided by TypeScript itself, and this is one of them. Just for example, pick generic helped me. This generic pick helped me to take interface car and get only color type. You see here this object with only one type. You also can create some useful generics by yourself, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. And that's all. That's all about from typization. It's enough for you to cover your project with types. More than enough. But let's go to a few words about TypeScript environment. We can go to official TypeScript website. Here we see download section, and TypeScript is available as a package on the npm, and we can install it in our project, or maybe install it globally. For example, here we have docs, and you can find this much more SAM and some other information. And pretty interesting section is playground. Here we can see how to TypeScript will be converted to regular JavaScript, and you can see that here we have type string, but it's absent from right side because, as I said previously, TypeScript removed from code when it compiled to real application because it needed only on developer step. Something like this. You can open and write what you want. Okay, and another point, if you want to create a React application with TypeScript, React provide a special template for it. You can run something like this with and choose template TypeScript, and we'll start the React project with TypeScript. Okay. Questions? Oh, thank you. Car is interface. No, question is car is the interface or instance here. Very important, car is the interface. Why it's important? Because types will be removed when we compile code. And that means that we cannot use types with combination types with real data because types do not present it in code while code are compiled. It's very important. And we cannot put some real data here, only types, interfaces, or something here, something like this. Hello, can we use TypeScript in every library in JS? Yeah, let's talk about that right now because next our chapter, I want to show you some real project and some real tricks to work with TypeScript. And first of all, we can open package.json. We can open package.json and find, oops, or this, yeah. This is some mobile application, doesn't matter, but we can see in our dependencies TypeScript, and very important in dev dependencies. Why? Because TypeScript only need on developer step. Also, we can see this special file tsconfig.json. It's a rare case when we need to do something here, but you need to know that you can configure your TypeScript. For example, you can specify in which folder TypeScript should check errors, specify which standard should use TypeScript, or something else. Very interesting field is strict null check. If you will play with TypeScript, you will see that null and undefined always pass checking. If you define, for example, variable C, you can put undefined here, and it's valid. For this purpose, TypeScript provides special rule, strict null checks. You can put true here and forbid this operation. TypeScript provides a lot of settings. I think not needed to describe all of them. You can find all information on official documentation related to it. Okay. When you create a project, you 100% will be use a lot of external dependencies, and some of them use typization and TypeScript, but some of that no. And first example is React. React use TypeScript and provide not only some constants and functions, it's also provide types. Like this example, we can apply type for functional components. This type called FC, functional component. And also, if our function gets some external parameters, we also can define this parameter here, something like this, because this type is generic. Or do it like this, create type. Create our type and put it type here. And also you can export this type to some other components and use it over your application if it needed. Okay, and for example, library React navigation native. Also, it's provide some hooks and some types. And if you click on the types, you will go to types.ts file from this library. You can see here. And React navigation provide 500 lines of some types. Sometimes it's not so easy to understand what happened here, but it's dark side of TypeScript. In rare case, you spend more time to create some special type, not for implementing functionality, but it's a rare case. Mostly it works well. For example, we have some type descriptor, and we can see that he has function render that return JSX element, options, screen options. I can also put my mouse over this name, tab command, click, and go to this type. And this type is just extend empty object. Okay, or just type road, click, and I go to road. Road. Can see. Here, road. Road extends row props. You can see road. You can click road props, and more. It's just example. Okay. And second question is why if some lib do not provide any types? For example, I have one lib here is React Native signage area. This lib use pure JavaScript and do not provide any types. In this case, we can create special file called declaration DTS and put it types by your hands manually. You see this library, see that this library have function set up and create type for this function here. It's rare case, but it's very helpful sometimes to create some typization. And for common use libraries like in Lodash, on npm you can find special library types/Lodash. This library contains only types for Lodash. And you can see here a lot of these libraries for commonly used libraries. It's very helpful. And also you can see that these types libraries are placed in tab dependencies. Why? Because TypeScript will be removed on production. One moment. Can we use TypeScript? Yeah, I think I answered for your question. Yeah, and I always say that TypeScript prevents us to create some errors in code, but TypeScript just mark that some place has error to forbid some operations. Depending on that, we need to create some hooks in our npm script. In this project, we have hook pre-push, and this script run before where you write git push command, and this hook run in parallel two types of checks. This is lint check and TSC TypeScript check. And if this script, if lint or TypeScript return some error, this script will be failed, and developer do not place his bad code in our repository. And here we can specify a lot of check-ins or a lot of or we have some ways to forbid bad code. For example, we can use pre-commit hook, something like this. Also on big project, we use pipelines. This is automatic tool, and when you push your code to repository, automatic system start and run these check-ins on repository. Okay, and last thing I want to show for you, if we open plugins section in, for example, VS Code and choose built-in plugins, you will see here, TypeScript in JavaScript language feature. These are very useful tricks when I put my mouse over some type and see inside it. This all realized by this extension. Okay, question. Does TypeScript have abstract classes? Yes, sure. Yes, sure. 100% yes, but I do not provide you some example for now, and I think we can here that track is abstract abstract class for class Deca. I don't know. Please read it in TypeScript documentation, but 100% yes. Yeah, that's all what I want to show for you. 3 minutes for question and we can finish. Can you write extension name? This is built-in extension. This is provided with VS Code, embedded in VS Code. I say about it just if you use some irregular IDE, maybe you need to install this extension separately. Oh, it's a very interesting question. Do we use TypeScript in our project? In the beginning of lecture, I say that you can write with JavaScript only a small project, because if you write big project with pure JavaScript, it can be it can be gone to some house and provide some unexpected error when you want to get string and get undefined, for example, or something else. And yes, now TypeScript is some kind of production standard, and I don't see any big project without typization, without TypeScript for most. But for JavaScript, I know another tool. It's called Flow, but now TypeScript it's more powerful than other tool, and this is some kind of code standard. Yeah, okay. Thank you for your attention. Rati, Hanna, I think we can finish our lecture. Thanks for you. Yeah. Thanks for all. Yeah, bye. Rati, do you hear? I think we can stop our recording.